3 meltdowns before breakfast and you haven't even had your coffee. Your child is screaming at the top of their lungs on the kitchen floor. You're running late and you can feel your emotions start to bubble over. I've been there, standing in that exact kitchen, feeling like a complete failure. But what if I told you that these overwhelming moments are actually opportunities for connection? Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Dr. Teri Rouse, and for over 3 decades, I've worked as a behavior and early interventionist, helping families transform chaos into calm. As an autism specialist and positive behavior support facilitator, I've seen firsthand how understanding emotions can change entire family dynamics. But my most powerful lessons did not come from my professional experience. They came from standing in my very own kitchen, watching my stepson have his 4th meltdown of the day. There I was with all my expertise, all my training, feeling completely helpless in my own home. That moment taught me something crucial about emotions, something I've used to help countless families create peaceful homes through the Real Peaceful Parenting framework. Today, I'm sharing 3 specific strategies that will help you understand what's really happening during emotional overwhelm. Learn practical techniques to help your children regulate emotions, create a home environment that supports emotional growth, and trust me, these are not just theories. These are real solutions that work in real homes with real families during real meltdowns. The science of emotions. First, let's understand what's actually happening in your child's brain during those big emotions. I call it the emotional tsunami, when feelings become so overwhelming that your child's thinking brain goes offline. Picture this. Your child's emotions are like a rising tide. When the water gets too high, it floods the logical thinking part of their brain. That's why telling them to calm down in these moments never works. They literally cannot access the logical thinking until the emotional flood recedes. This is what happened in my kitchen that morning with my stepson. The more I tried to reason with him, the bigger his emotions became. Understanding this changed everything about how I responded to his meltdowns. Emotional triggers. Let me share 3 common triggers that often create emotional tsunamis in our children. Understanding these triggers changes everything, and it changed everything in my home, and I've seen it transform hundreds of other families too. Overwhelm from transitions. So let's first talk about transitions. I want you to picture this. Your child is deeply focused on building with blocks, and you say, "Time to get dressed." When they protest or melt down, it's not defiance, it's overwhelm. Their brain is struggling to shift gears. When my children were having one of those morning meltdowns, I finally realized that they weren't being difficult. They were having a problem and drowning in transitions. Get dressed, brush teeth, eat breakfast, pack bag, find shoes. It was too many changes too quickly. Once I understood this, I could actually help my children instead of adding to their stress. The second trigger is feeling misunderstood or unheard. You know those moments when your child is crying about the blue cup, but you know it's not really about the cup. They're trying to tell us something deeper. I need control, I want connection, or I'm feeling overwhelmed. When we dismiss those feelings with phrases like, "You're fine, stop crying," we accidentally amplify the emotional tsunami. The third is physical needs. Our third trigger might surprise you. Physical needs like hunger, tiredness, or sensory overload. I call these the hidden triggers because they're easy to miss in the heat of the moment. That after school meltdown, it might not be about sharing toys. It could be about being hungry, and exhausted after holding it together in school all day long. Think of it like your child's emotional cup being too full to handle one more drop. Understanding these triggers isn't about preventing meltdowns. It's about seeing the world through your child's eyes. When we can recognize these triggers, we can step in with support before the emotional tsunami hits. And here's the real game changer. Once you start spotting these triggers, you'll notice patterns. You'll see the meltdown coming before it actually arrives. And that's when the magic happens, because now you can help your child navigate through it. Before we dive into practical regulation techniques, I want to check in with you. Do these emotional triggers sound familiar? If you're finding value in understanding these big emotions, hit that subscribe button to join our peaceful parenting community. If you know another parent who's struggling with emotional meltdowns, share this video with them, because sometimes knowing we're not alone in these challenges makes all the difference in the world. Now, let me show you exactly what to do in these overwhelming moments. Now that we understand what's happening in our children's brains during emotional overwhelm, let's talk about what actually works in these moments. Through my work with hundreds of families, I've developed what I call the STOP method, a practical approach that transforms overwhelming emotional moments into opportunities for connection and learning. S, stay calm yourself. First, we need to stay calm ourselves. This might sound simple, but it's actually the foundation of the entire approach. Think about it. When you're upset, does someone who's equally agitated help you feel better? Our children co-regulate with our emotional state, which means they're literally borrowing our calm. Let me show you what it looks like in practice. Take a deep breath before responding. Speak in a low, gentle voice like this. Get down on your child's level physically. Slow your movements and create a sense of time abundance. Remember, this doesn't mean suppressing your own emotions. It means managing them effectively. Sometimes I tell parents to silently repeat, "This is not an emergency. I have time to respond thoughtfully." Next, we talk about feelings. This crucial step validates your child's emotional experience while helping them develop emotional intelligence. Instead of saying, "Calm down, you're overreacting," try this. "I see you're having big feelings right now. It looks like you might be feeling frustrated about what happened. Those feelings can be really overwhelming." Notice we're not trying to fix or dismiss the emotion. We're simply acknowledging it. This validation often helps reduce the intensity of feelings because your child feels seen and understood. The third step is to offer choices for calming. When children are emotionally flooded, they need our help to find a way back to regulation. Offering simple choices gives them a sense of control while guiding them towards regulation. Here's how this works. Would you like a hug, or would you prefer some quiet time in your calming space? Should we take 3 deep breaths together, or would you like to squeeze your stress ball? Would you like to draw your feelings or talk about what's happened? The key is offering limited, appropriate choices rather than open-ended questions that might overwhelm an already flooded brain. Finally, we praise recovery efforts. This final step is often overlooked, but it's crucial for building long-term emotional regulation skills. When your child begins to calm down, acknowledge their efforts. "I notice how you took deep breaths when you were feeling upset." That shows emotional strength. You were able to find your calm again. That's a skill that will help you throughout your life. I saw how hard you worked to express your feelings with words instead of hitting. That takes real courage. What makes the STOP method so powerful is that it gives both you and your child a clear path forward in those overwhelming moments. You're not just stopping difficult behavior, you're teaching emotional intelligence, building connection, and strengthening your relationship. Let me show you how to create a space that actually works. First, let's talk location. You want a quiet corner away from high traffic areas, but still within your line of sight. In my home, we used the corner of the living room where my children could feel both safe and connected. Essential elements: comfortable seating, like a soft beanbag or some cushions, a weighted blanket if your child enjoys deep pressure, something to lean against for security, calming activities like stress balls or fidget toys, a calming jar for visual focus, simple puzzles or building blocks, some smooth stones just to hold. Emotional guidance tools might use picture cards showing different feelings, a feeling thermometer, simple breathing exercise cards, a small mirror for emotional awareness, creating clear boundaries. This is crucial. Establish clear rules like this is a calm space, not a punishment corner. We treat the space and items with respect. We can choose to leave when we feel calmer. Now, here's the key that most people miss. You must introduce this space during peaceful moments. Let me show you exactly how. Let's talk about how to make all of this work in real life. I remember feeling overwhelmed when I first started implementing these strategies. That's why I developed what I call the tiny steps approach. Here's your roadmap. Week 1, choose your focus. Pick one situation that typically triggers big emotions. Select one calming technique to practice. Introduce it during a peaceful moment. For example, let's say morning routines are challenging. Start with just deep breathing at breakfast time. Make it fun. Maybe pretend you're blowing out birthday candles or cooling hot chocolate in a big mug. Week 2, build the foundation. Practice your chosen technique daily. Celebrate small wins. Notice and name when it helps. I see you took deep breaths when you felt frustrated. That helped your body calm down. And expand slowly in week 3. Add one more technique or situation. Keep practicing previous skills. Let your child lead sometimes. Would you like to show me how you calm your body? Remember, you're not just teaching coping skills. You're building your child's emotional intelligence toolkit for life. Think of it like learning to play an instrument. You don't start with a complex symphony. You begin with simple notes and build from there. The magic happens when these strategies become natural responses rather than crisis intervention. That's when you'll start seeing real transformation in your home. Remember, every emotional outburst is actually an opportunity for connection and teaching. You're not failing when your child has big emotions. You're being given a chance to help them learn how to handle them. I've created a complete resource library to support your peaceful parenting journey. There's lots of resources. Just visit drterirouse.com/free resources to get your hands on not only Untamed Chaos Companion Workbook, the proven BARC system, and the Real Peaceful Parenting Important Takeaways, but a whole lot more. You can find the link in the show notes below. If these strategies resonate with your parenting journey, please hit that subscribe button so we can continue growing together. Share this video with another parent who might be standing in their kitchen right now, feeling overwhelmed by their child's big emotions. Remember, you're not just managing meltdowns. You're building emotional intelligence that will last a lifetime. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.